record button and mess with some intro music. Maybe there we go. Because, I always do this in post and forget I have it on a button right there.
Yeah, it's all about the setup. You got DJ
Maximize.
Yeah.
I got this whole thing and I use it for like 20% of what it can do. Yeah, it's great. Arrow, do you want in on the conversation, huh? You want to
Hey,
talk about your
sweetie.
jokes and
I
stuff?
know I got dog smell on me.
Your life is so hard.
I'm the coolest.
And this is going to play out a little. And then I'm just going to do some of that. And then hit that button. And I'm going to tell everybody this is the next episode of the KAAMP. I am Thomas. This is the Knoxville Area Artists Network and podcast platform thing. It's kind of plastic. It does whatever I want it to do. And I'm here with two folks, one returning guest and one new guest, Ivan and Riley. Gentlemen, what have you been up to today?
Shoot, I made some eggs. I got in my car. I rolled over here. It's been a hell of a day. Thank you for that show, man. That was super fun.
Well, we didn't have to talk about that, but since we're here,
yeah, it was a great show. And
I really enjoyed that.
For networking, I mean, I talked to so many artists, like people who I would love to do posters or shirts or metalworking. Yeah, it was sick.
You never know what's going to happen when you put those kind of people in a room together, and that's one of my favorite things on this whole planet is like shoving people in a room and seeing what conversation happens and how things flow. That's like part of the subtext of why I like curating art shows and all those kind of things.
Yeah, that was a great community thing. It was like a renegade art show with like governmental themed.
Yeah, I heard it was like kind of a JD Vance birthday bash kind of thing.
yeah. It was. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sounds awesome.
But Ivan came and did, 20-ish minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was super fun because I grew up, idolizing Jon Stewart and politically themed jokes. And around here, it's just a tough sell.
Yeah.
And
it's a weird area.
Yeah, I've had bookers and stuff be like,
I just noticed your cup.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Awesome.
It's a imitation.
Looks
like Lysol can.
Yeah, it looks like a Lysol for homophobes.
Homophobia be gone. Yeah. It's pretty good. But yeah, I've had bookers tell other people and myself like, oh, this joke is too political. Oh, like the audience doesn't like this. And for a while that was true, but I think we like turned some corner in the past few months where people want and need to hear jokes about messed up things that are happening, and that crowd was just on board with
that was the room to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was really vindicating to be like, okay, there are people who appreciate this take, and yeah, it was super fun.
Well, that was so the way I see comedy in relation to society, there's like two groups of people that are going to start talking about the fuck shit first. One's comedians and the other ones are visual artists in some way. Like painters and illustrators are a little quicker than videographers because there's so much other work that goes into making videos and stuff. So I really feel like the print and hand-drawn media and stuff like that are a little faster, like bandwidth-wise, when it comes to reacting to society. Because we can see some shit on the news, and a comedian can see some shit on the news, and that night they've painted something or made a joke about it, and like that, 4 to 18 hour turnaround is like super fast in the world of just general communication on a geopolitical scale.
Yeah.
So y'all see it first. We see it first. We're usually the first ones to say some shit. And I think a lot of people don't know that rapid.
It's a tool to cut through the BS and the spin and everything. And it's hard to get to that conclusion, I think, but people need that.
Yeah. And I was also really, really upset that no established. I wasn't that uppity. I didn't call anybody out. But one of the reasons I did the show was to provide space that was denied from the establishment. Like there are galleries here in town that would never do something like that because it's too risky for their bottom line. And I think that's a shame. If this is a space where you say, hey, this is an art gallery, this is how we hold a mirror to society, this is what we do in this space. And then blatantly ignore what's going on in the world with the media that you present to the public, I think that's really messed up.
Yeah, and it's this business framing of like, oh, I'm going to lose customers or I'm going to lose revenue. And that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, it's a bottom line problem.
Yeah.
And I really hate when I see people just blatantly ignore like what's happening in the world.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So I had to make space for me to do that, but I couldn't
Absolutely.
be selfish enough to just hoard that opportunity for myself, because that's not fair. Like when it comes to, if I'm going to make room for myself, I can't be so exclusionary that no one else can come play in this space that we all need to share because we all live in this society.
And that show proved that there's a market for it, and they were selling drinks and people had a great time. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to sweep stuff under the rug to make profit. Just keep it real with people.
Well, I think we were really transparent with why we were donating to who we were donating and what we were donating to them. And Kelly is probably going to get on here next week and we'll do a recap for the show. But I think it's already been publicly stated anyway that we donated like a couple $100 worth of tangible items and self-care aids and all that kind of thing. And then damn near $600 straight cold hard cash to the First Aid Collective Knoxville.
That's great.
And I felt really good about that.
Yeah.
And I think total sales like $800 of artwork, and then
That's great.
and then each artist had their own breakdown of what percentage of the sales they wanted to do. And then some folks even donated straight up in the little box we had, and then some of the artists donated money outside of their art sales. So it was really good.
Riley, what's your process like with an edgy joke? Are you like, oh, I think this is funny, I'm gonna see how the audience reacts, or do you try to tailor it?
I'm still new enough to where I'm pretty scared to. It's a risky, I don't have a super like clean thought process naturally. And so like when I think of something, I'm like,
Welcome
man,
to the party, brother.
yeah. And so it feels like disingenuous to not like be as authentic as I can be like on stage. But also I'm really new, and I can struggle with getting my point out effectively, like the way that I want to and like the way I originally thought about it. And so it's a fine line for me right now. Like sometimes I'll just not last night, me and a couple other coaches drove up to Jersey Hustle.
Yeah.
And I told a joke about kind of necrophilia and like a kind of ventriloquist necrophilia joke. And it did not go over well. And I literally woke up at like 5 a.m. like 2 nights ago, just be like, oh man, this is so fun.
Gotta put this in as soon as possible.
Yeah, I gotta write this in my notes. I'm like, oh, this is my next big thing. It's my closer. And then, but I'll work on it. I'll try it a couple different ways. It's a process.
Yeah, it is a process, and the audience does change. I remember it was probably almost a year ago, I wrote a joke about kids dying in Palestine, which is like the darkest topic of the day. And objectively, the crowd was not ready for it. And I told it maybe 2 or 3 times over a couple weeks at mics or shows, and took the notes, was like, okay, this is not it. I'm cutting it. And then I came back from Europe and tried it again, just because it's still in the news, and it's been in the news.
It hit a little different this time.
Oh, yeah. And the crowd was like, huge reaction. I was like, oh, you guys have changed. I'm the same. Like,
yeah, it took y'all a while to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun when that happens. I don't know if they'll get there on necrophilia, but hey,
I can only hope. Only hope.
Did you see the painting that was up on the post of the cross with all the Palestinian bodies on it?
Yeah.
That one was like in leagues with where that joke is.
Yeah.
And it's a really, like, visually it is polarizing, insanely polarizing.
Great piece. Yeah. I stared at that for probably 5 or 10 minutes straight, just because there's so many little details.
There's a reason I put that up like opposite the door. I wanted people to see that real quick.
That was one.
And it was big, so it helped.
Yeah.
But it was really polarizing in the way that joke is really polarizing. Oh boy, submitted it anonymously, and I kind of wish he hadn't have done that, because I'm really proud of him for doing it. But he did, and I wasn't gonna stop him. So I didn't want to throw any unnecessary shade at him by him associating himself with that piece
That's
of artwork.
Tough thing about comedy too is if it
It
goes
comes
badly,
out of your face.
there's no
It's
hiding.
immediate, right there. You literally have a spotlight on you.
That's some high fidelity feedback right there.
You can't put a luchador mask
No.
on.
Dude, but if you did, that sounds like something Justin should try. I think I've got him on the books for next week. So
Nice.
or not next week, next month sometime. So I'm going to get him in here and
Nice.
do some stuff. Going to talk about his former protests. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
He's doing that No Ice show. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know about it.
Yeah, check it out. I think there's a few tickets left. It's a really cool room too.
Where's he doing it at?
Nirvana Comics.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a little event space with a bunch of epic posters, and it's like a nice corner. It's a really cool room. Shout out to Gibson Carney for setting that up.
I have to get them on here at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
But that being weird and the crowd catching up it happens in visual art too. And it's one of those things like in order to appear more favorable painting that I did, like I painted that a month ago, and last week old Cheeto in Chief said that he wanted to censor and edit all the stuff in the Smithsonian's and other museums to make sure that they put forth the right story of America, as in fascism is good and slavery wasn't that bad, kind of thing. It's the Smithsonian. They're going to de-woke the Smithsonian's, and he's really happy about it. So that only further proves my point. Like, bullying federal institutions is really not the way to win over public favor or brownie points in politics or anything like that. And it erodes the trust that society has in our federal institutions. And I love the Smithsonian's, and I've spent literally dozens of hours of my life in all of those buildings, and it bugs the piss out of me to see some idealistic person in a chair somewhere going, "Oh yeah, no."
I would love to know the Smithsonian board meeting when that was announced. Like, look, we want a different clientele in here. More Crocs, more flannels,
a lot more camouflage.
The gift shop's just gonna be all MAGA hats now.
That and camo, like knockoff Stanley tumblers.
Yeah,
that's gonna be it. No, like small fine art prints of some of the paintings or anything, or like assemble kits of like giraffe skeletons or nothing. Nothing educational anymore.
Yeah. What could get really scary is like when someone in power. I think one of the first steps is like when they try to dictate art, when they try to like censor / like push it in a way that they want to. But then it gets scary when you try to dictate history, because art is subjective in a way that like makes it a little bit easier to kind of push narratives.
Yeah, you can fudge that around a little bit.
Yeah, but history is, I mean, it all happened. It's the past, and it can get a little iffy. And
I'm really curious how far this is going to go, because there's going to be if he gets what he wants out of this ordeal, and then somebody that knows more than him is going to walk into the shit one day and be like, "Hey, you know what? This ain't right." And then the whole world is going to be behind that person, because they all also know that shit ain't right. And then there's another facet of his interaction with society that is now flipped and against him. And watching those little parts of society flip and fasting, it's like the Epstein shit. Like the base of MAGA and the Republican Party that is really into the Epstein files is so violently mad at Trump right now, because he is straight up protecting himself. And it's obvious. It's like when the kid has the cake on their face and they're like, "Did you eat the cake?" And they say, "No." That's exactly what's happening. Riley, you can move that. It's in your way.
Super curious to see how that all pans out.
Oh man, it's a waiting game at this point. I want to know. The whistleblower that drops that shit on Reddit is going to get murked, right?
There's got to be so many people.
They got to kill themselves first.
Let's adjust our language here to tell history appropriately. He's gonna die under mysterious suicidal circumstances.
But there's got to be dozens, if not hundreds, of people who know what happened, whether it was in the jail or prosecutor's office who saw the videos. There's a lot of people, and
they're working really hard to keep this
fragile. That's a fragile situation.
I'm sure they're whacking people left and right, and lots of knocks on doors in the middle of the night. But I don't know. It's a numbers thing, and it's got to be a lot of people.
Yeah. All it takes is one, right? One person says it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, if I could say it now too."
Yeah, and then they turn into Snowden hiding in Russia. And then it's the whole 9 yards. But it's real slippery slope, and as with any secret thing, like the more people you get involved, the riskier it is, and the faster it's going to come out. That's like one of those exponential formulas of like how many people know this shit, how many
Mhm.
people can we trust to not say a damn thing, and where those lines
Mhm.
cross on the graph,
Yeah.
that's when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I doubt the competency of the FBI or anybody because we're all humans. They are not competent enough to keep it under wraps.
Well, I mean, especially under old Cash Patel. Like,
oh yeah.
let's just
Yeah.
assume he's deficient in many ways himself.
Yeah.
Take away his Adderall for 3 days,
Yeah.
and he would be begging to be a whistleblower.
He's on signal himself. Like, hey guys, we're gonna bomb these people.
That's the very fun part about being an ER nurse is I can look at somebody on video and be like, yeah, that guy's definitely on ketamine right now.
Mhm. Yeah, you
I've,
see it all.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I know what's behind those eyes.
Yeah. I mean, he always looks like he literally like just did it. Like 10
Whatever
minutes
it
ago.
is,
Yeah.
he just. It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
He
when
must be doing it
somebody
constantly.
comes up off the table from snorting a line, they're like this.
Yeah,
That's
uh-huh.
what he looks like all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Whether it's like Elon Musk's like weird shoulder twitches and like high pitched giggles, like I have seen these things
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
I made it through
Yeah.
college. You know, we all had a roommate. You know? Oh man.
Yeah, there's something up. I don't be pressing the cat walking across my soundboard
Our
right
new
now.
producer.
Yeah, well, he's uppity. He likes people to see him but not hear him, so he's just like traipsing amongst the microphones right now.
Cat producer's a pretty good move, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't ever complain about it. He's just a bit iffy sometimes. He's not very consistent.
No. How good is he at the levels?
Mhm.
It depends. Like some days he's really good with just 4 fingers. Some days he's not.
yeah.
Like, it really depends. Like earlier, he tried to jump up on a bar stool and knocked it over. So like, I don't think today's his day.
Yeah.
I really don't.
We all have our off days.
He would definitely vote Democrat just to screw the Republicans. But he's cute and he knows it, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, Riley, how does Knoxville treat you as a creative person? And we can like tack this down to being a city conversation, since that's usually what I try to keep it. Knoxville treats you pretty good doing what you do?
Well, yeah. I mean, I started like I'm still relatively new to Knoxville. I moved here going to college at UT, and grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I had always wanted to do the I always wanted to do stand-up, like literally as long as I can remember. But
So who drug you up on a stage?
Well, I mean, various different people. Like it's like it was like a very internal thing at first. Like it was so embarrassing. Also, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to like because like I was raised in like an Irish Catholic household, so like the guilt and the shame is like I want to like be on a stage. Like, oh my god, are you kidding me, you asshole? You know.
I saw a shirt the other day that said, Catholic? No, I just like practice guilt recreationally.
Yeah.
So it's part of that, yeah.
Yeah, but so like I never did it in Charlotte because I think a mixture of like that scene, like where I was, like that guilt kind of resides in that place. But when I moved to Knoxville, like I kind of like I literally just like looked on Facebook and saw like on like Knox Comedy Festival, like, oh, there's this thing and like it looks fun, and then I did it, and I think, I mean, being in Knoxville like absolutely helped. And then recently this summer going back to Charlotte, it's a much bigger comedy scene, but it feels so much emptier to me. It like it's there's like open mics every night, but like there's no like sense of community for it. Like it feels hollow. But like Knoxville feels very like interconnected. Like people are trying to make it work. People are like helping each other. So like I can absolutely appreciate that about this place.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've experienced doing what I do. Is like the network really tries to pull together and make stuff happen. I mean, Brandy does great doing what she does. Tiny Stage, they do all kinds of great work too, trying to keep the scene hopping. And there's just, I think the Barrel House has a weekly or at least monthly comedy night, and Central Cinema doing all that they do. And Ivan's got the Comedy Deception show that rocks. And
so fun,
dude, so fun. But yeah, like the community here feels pretty tight knit and well networked, and they do good work when they have the opportunity to do good work. I don't think I've ever been to any single comedy event in town and be like, well, shit, this was a waste of time. Like, not once. And
for all of Knoxville comedy's flaws of being a small scene, people get way better here. And you know, I've been coming around since 2021 to mics and shows, and I can't and I've talked about this with other comedians. I can't think of anybody who just hasn't gotten better. I mean, people get better and go on the road and do really well in front of big crowds coming out of Knoxville.
I mean, pound for pound, like there's more funny people in Knoxville than in Charlotte, and Charlotte has 5 times the comedians.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
there's more funny people here.
And it's a business opportunity
Yeah.
too, and you kind of see that starting to pop up now where Side Splitters, the comedy club here, closed in 2014, I think. And
Sad, yeah, I remember.
while it is sad, it's, I wasn't here back then, of course.
Well, I mean, it creates a vacuum.
Yeah,
Something else has
it's
to
a
fill
vacuum and independent shows and people producing what they think is a good lineup, and people get better at comedy. It's really valuable. I was super lucky to land here because comedy was like a factor in where I was going to settle. And I had, I remember going to the first mic with a guy named Aaron Naylor who runs shows in Asheville now. He was the guy who dragged me up on the stage. And
Damn him.
I told him that, comedy was a factor in me moving to Knoxville, and he was just aghast, like, oh no, you've made a huge mistake.
And this was about 2014. When was this?
This was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So especially after COVID, everything's coming back.
Yeah.
But objectively, he was right.
Yeah.
It just kind of worked out. But yeah, it's a good comedy city.
I feel like I've kind of joined it. I started like 6 months ago. I feel like I joined at a great time.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like even since I've joined, like things are happening.
Well, man, the last 2 years, like the comedy scene in town has exploded, and I've lived here since 2013, 2012, something like that, and I've seen, like, I went to a lot of shows at Side Splitters with nationally touring folks, and that was great. And when that was happening, there was way less of a homegrown scene because everybody that wanted that pretty much just went out there, and that was their outlet. There was still stuff at the Pilot Light and wherever, but I mean, the scene was way different then and way less intense. And I've just watched it, grow wings since then. And it's been one of the coolest things. Like, obviously, sports and music are huge here in town because that's a lot of our tourism dollars and all that shit. But this being adjacent to that has been a great thing for the scene. And I love it. And especially since, like, Central Cinema opened up and Barrel House likes doing comedy in Johnson City. They like doing comedy here. And having the space created another vacuum, it was filled, and it's been staying filled, and it's been doing really well.
I think it's only going to get bigger. I mean, if you look at it mathematically, like Madison, Wisconsin, I think is maybe 30% smaller than the Knoxville metro area. And they have Comedy on State, which is, one of the best clubs in the country and a big independent scene. And yeah, I think it's only going to get bigger here as long as we have producers who keep executing. And I just don't see any way it doesn't get bigger,
Well, one of the cool things that I also really like is we have the Civic Auditorium and the Bijou Theater. There have been comedy specials taped there, a bunch of them in the last 5 or 6 years. Like Dusty Slade did his at the Bijou last summer, his special that came out last summer. And then Tommy Cho, he did one at the Bijou like 2 years ago. He filmed one of his specials. So, like, we have proper rooms for people doing proper comedy here in town. Like, the Bijou is 1,000 people, I think, almost. And the Civic Auditorium is like 2,500 people, something like that. I should know this exact number. I've worked that room for like 6 years now. But whatever, it's big. And it's acoustically, it's great. It's one of the better sounding rooms in town, and people buy tickets to go see comedy there, and it's great. But people like Jeff Dunham and what's his face, Fluffy, they've sold out the Coliseum side of the building. So like, there are rooms that get sold out that are big here in town, and it's good to see.
Yeah, and it's essential to the networking side of things because somebody big comes to town. Maybe they'll do an independent show after the theater show, or maybe their opener knows somebody in the scene, and then it's great for the city. Absolutely.
Yeah, both of those things have absolutely happened, and I love anytime we can get something not music in the Bijou Theater because they're a nonprofit and they try to have a variety of things, so it's great to see. And I've seen like international bands and stuff there because they do all kinds of stuff, but if I can see comedy there, that's great.
Mhm.
The last person I saw there, I think, was what's his face? Used to be Henry Rollins. Yeah,
Oh,
I saw
Mm,
Henry
mhm.
Rollins there on his first tour back after COVID, the
Mm.
Happy to See You tour, or whatever it was.
Mhm.
He told a really long story about how some guy from Europe tried to break into his house in LA. And oh boy ended up having some kind of mental condition and needed therapy and all that jazz. But
Yeah.
he got him sorted out. Ended up like calling his mom all the way in Europe and was like, "Hey, I think your son's trying to break into my house and meet me, so we got to get him some help." Like it ended up being a pretty wholesome ending to something that could have been went really sideways.
Mhm.
But and to hear Henry Rollins say all that in his like super sober paranoid way
Yeah.
was absolutely entertaining. It was
Uh-huh.
great. But Europe,
Yeah, Europe. I can definitely picture an innocent Europe boy coming to America and feeling the need to make some cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got back, I guess, about 6 or 8 weeks ago from a Trans-Europe hitchhiking tour.
Mm.
I need you to know I really enjoyed like introducing you to the crowd at the show by telling them you had been lying about being an American backpacking through Europe.
absolutely. Yeah, I got a ride from Estonia into Latvia. And
wow.
I was standing on the border of the two countries in a little town called Valka. And I did not like the vibe of Latvia based off the, 100 yards, 100 meters of Latvia that I had seen. And so I was worried about getting a ride.
Yeah. Was it like we want to be the Soviet Union kind of vibe?
Oh gosh, that's a great question, and that was kind of the.
Or was it like tracksuits and machine guns?
Oh,
or
yeah.
like-
Well, the whole history of the USSR was like what I was lost in this history during my trip, because you talk to drivers and they all tell you about what the USSR was like,
Mhm.
and we have education here that's not wrong, but
Different.
not very broad, and it misses the finer points. And so I was learning about
That's
this
America
history.
First education.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started in Estonia, and immediately in Tallinn, Estonia, I'm like, holy crap, this town is amazing. They've got, spotless buses with free Wi-Fi, and
Mhm.
the all the stores are nicer and better than the ones here. And I'm like, oh no, my American paradigm is shattering.
Your freedom is
Exceptionalism,
Yeah.
my ass.
Yeah.
And I get a ride from a guy out of Tallinn who's about my age and speaks great English, because they all speak great English, great education there. And he's telling me about, the threat of Russian invasion to this day, where the Russian media puts out these videos like, oh, Estonia is going to attack us. We have to build up our military on the border. And they're like, no, we're not. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And, it's 700 years of Estonia's history. They were enslaved by either Russia or Germany. And then the USSR comes along and it's like, okay, we're going to advance, science, technology, culture, and everybody gets really excited.
Hype.
Hype it up, and we're totally not going to enslave you guys at all, we swear. And everybody's really on board with it. And then over the course of, 5, 10, 15 years, the blockhouses start getting built.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to end homelessness. This is all great. And then slowly the blockhouses become more and more ethnically Russian. And the Estonians and the Latvians go, well, I want this economic dream. I want my own apartment, but it's just a slow, gradual ethnic cleansing economically, where, oh, the Russians get the jobs, oh, the Russians get the house, oh, and then they realize, decades later, okay, we're not part of this vision. And to this day, the Russian ethnic minority in Estonia supports Russia. They don't believe in Estonia. I mean, it's something like 20-30% of the population wants it to be Russia. And so I was learning about this all through Latvia, all through Lithuania. And I completely lost track of how I got onto this thread. Talking about Latvia.
We're here now.
Oh yeah, lying about being an American.
Balkan
So I'm standing on the border, hitching a ride down into Latvia. I'm way behind schedule. I'm like, okay, I'm going to skip Riga. I'm going to get straight to Lithuania. And I get a ride from this lovely family coming back from grandma's house. It's the mother and father. And I tell them that I'm thinking about skipping Riga. And they go, "Oh my God, you can't skip Riga. We love, they live outside of Riga."
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
give you a ride.
Yeah.
And this was a trick that I learned on the trip is if you want a really good tour of a city, just tell the driver you're thinking about skipping it. And they'll be like, "Oh, I'll show you everything." And so they invited me back to their home and cooked a dinner, and we watched Eurovision together.
Hell yes.
The Eurovision finals
Yeah.
with a Latvian family of 6. It was awesome. But
How many of them were drunk?
Yeah.
the kids were wasted.
Yeah.
But the whole reason that I got that opportunity at all is because when the car stopped, he asked me where I was from, and I said Canada.
My dog.
And if I had said America, I would not have, none of that would have happened. Because on the ride, the father was telling me about how Canada has stationed troops on the border of Latvia and how much safer that makes him and his family feel. And he looked up the exact number of, 7,000 troops or whatever, and thanked me as a Canadian for my government's contribution to their entire family's safety.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there feeling like the
Welcome.
biggest piece of shit. But selfishly, like, Eurovision with the Latvians, pretty cool.
Yeah, I would have taken that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it backfired on me at times. There were times I would say I was an American and I would get kicked out of the car immediately. There were times where I would be honest about it and somebody would have really insightful, interesting questions. A guy from Bosnia, a Bosnian trucker who had lived in America for years and years, was
Trucker.
super excited.
You
Yeah.
don't say.
I hitched a ride with the semi truck
Hell
a
yeah.
couple times. And
In the back or your
nope, in the cab.
Okay,
And I love
nice.
trucker rides. I think for people who haven't hitchhiked, you're probably like, "Oh, well, truckers definitely gonna rub your leg or be creepy or dirty or something." But
Ass cash or grass.
nobody rides for free. But no, the truckers they live in there, so it's usually really clean and they have nice snacks and yeah. But he was, having lived in America, was familiar with the culture and liked America when he was here, but went into great detail about how, as because Bosnia is majority Muslim,
Mhm.
about how just the Gaza stuff is completely unforgivable, and he was in the Bosnian army and all his friends died during the revolution.
Oh, so he had a very polarized experience.
Very, very, not just well researched but well lived.
Yeah, he was there.
Historical experience, and was like, I love America, and completely friendly and accepting towards me as an American civilian, but just on a geopolitical level, he will never get past Gaza because he said, soldiers kill other soldiers. This is war. I did this. I killed people. We set mines up that probably kill people to this day, but we didn't kill women and children.
Didn't starve him
And
either.
it was so real of just like, man, I don't know how anybody could disagree with this guy.
Yeah.
And then he said some stuff about Hitler that was a little crazy. But yeah, I have over 100 gigabytes of video from this trip and that conversation with the trucker. And I'm still working through trying to get these very complex stories into bite-sized, clear, cohesive videos.
Mhm. Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah.
in a reel or not, I would love to hear those.
Yeah. I have some that I'm going to be putting out. I'm going to do it in chronological order.
Uh-huh.
And I have made it from the US to Estonia to the first ride. That's as far as I made
Okay.
it. But
Well, I will eagerly await the release of such things.
yeah, it's tough to get out because this trip gets real crazy before the hitchhiking even begins.
Yeah.
I got wrecked by bed bugs in Miami
So that wasn't a joke.
before I even made it. No, that's a truth.
I even got over. Yeah.
I joke about it in my set because I get bed bugs, realize I got bed bugs, and within 24 hours throw out all the gear that I brought and basically show up to Europe with absolutely nothing. And the joke is, I'm standing in front of the border guard thinking like, I look incredibly suspicious right now.
Yeah.
But I make it in, I go to Estonian Walmart and get the rudimentary gear that I need because I'm like,
Ozark Trail.
yeah. And that's the joke of like, I go to Estonian Walmart, which is a lot like American Walmart, except better.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'd spend a couple days in Tallinn just wrecked with self-doubt. Like, oh my God, I'm going to be here for 6 weeks. This is a nightmare already. God, why am I so itchy? And then I get it together and I enter this instant history lesson about the USSR and get a tour. The first driver gave me a tour of an Estonian cemetery because I was very earnest. Like, hey, I don't know that much about Estonia's history. I know what I learned in history class about the USSR. They tell us on the news that, Russia wants to invade. Russia wants to invade. What do you think? I'm uneducated. Tell me. And he gave me the whole history of 700 years of Estonia and took me to a cemetery where, because Estonia has only been free for maybe 30 years, not at war in 700 years. And so he took me to a cemetery and was like, here's the Estonian side where the Russians destroyed all our gravestones. And here's the Russian side of the cemetery where they still put flowers on the Russian generals.
Ooh.
It was it almost brought me to tears. It was so crazy.
I mean, not only is that an idealistic divide, like how they operate in regards to one another, is also like a social divide too. And when it's that obvious, it hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and just to go from an absolute nightmare of a beginning of the trip to just being boots on the ground, seeing crazy stuff like that was so special.
I mean, yeah, you flipped the switch on it real quick because you
And
dove into that whole social scenario.
And I needed that win so bad. But I think it's a life lesson of, you absolutely eat shit for a couple days and try to keep a good mindset, and things will turn around sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also in some ways sort of one of those stereotypical jokey things about the American Western experience. Like, I'm gonna go backpack around Europe for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But your ass went and did it, and you loved it, and had a wacky, crazy, pretty good time.
I had a crazy time. Absolutely.
And, some people live their whole lives and never do some outlandish shit like that or have that style of life experience, and that's really sad. I hate that for them.
Yeah.
So, Riley, you're next.
Europe?
Yeah, sure. Wherever, somewhere. Go on an adventure, dude. You're young. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I've never been to, like, mainly. I went to Ireland for my 18th birthday, but that is traveling is. I'm very interested in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And like Indonesia and like the whole like mountains, rainforest, tropical combo that is fascinates me.
Yeah, really tall mountains, really small islands.
Yeah. That's probably next on my kind of crazy trip docket.
Well, go west, and then you'll end up east, and it'll be way more fun.
The beauty of the globe.
Yeah. I think the value in travel is just putting yourself in some situations where you can be way outside of your comfort zone and panicking and just taking brutal L after L.
Yeah.
Because that teaches you how to react to stuff.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of like Americanize it. Like if you like go to if you go to New York for the first time and you spend all your time in Times Square,
Right.
You're not experiencing New York. Yeah, it's like a fun, crazy part of it, but like you gotta be like at Bed-Stuy, like you gotta like have like some like crazy
Take
experience.
a walk in any direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How many times can you get mugged in one night?
Yeah,
On
exactly.
one
Set the
street.
record.
Yeah.
Pick the short one too, like the ones that go across the island, buddy. Yeah, I went to New York for the first time 2 years ago, and I stayed on Upper West Side in a hotel that was like 130 years old, and it was pretty dope. Like I went into the stairwell to see if I had roof access, whether they gave it to me or not. And all the steps were worn in the middle, and the edges were rounded. Like I'm sure you saw some of that running around your.
Oh, absolutely.
But like that's the first time I've been in a building that was old enough to have the emergency stairwell be like well worn.
Yeah. A lot of emergencies.
Well worn. A lot of people like going down to the lobby to smoke cigarettes and going
it was like
up
dried
to
blood from the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Torture chamber in the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that was one of the things. Like I just sort of reminded me how old that city was because it was it was and is pretty old in the scale of America's history. And
Mhm.
it was just neat to be in amongst something like that. And it was also really cool because the red clay brick had like some amethyst sprinkled in
Oh,
the
wow.
clay. So in certain lights, like golden hour, the building looked very purple hued.
That's
Mm.
crazy.
It was neat. So like in the normal daylight, it was all red clay brick kind of thing. It looked all nice and shit. And then it turned sort of a purple tinge after the sun came out of the peak of the sky. It was really neat. But that's one of the places that fascinates me, and I really want to go back, and I cannot wait to
I've
go
never
back.
been. Have you been in New York?
Oh, yeah, I have some family who like live up there, and I've spent a lot of time in New York. It's literally if I think it's the best place in America, pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way.
Yeah.
I never had a bad meal there.
Oh
And
yeah.
I ate a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got dispensaries up there. I ate a lot of food.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's one of those cities where you could pick a street and just walk and see whatever, like you just, it's a mystery every step. Just just go see, go do be.
Yeah.
And whatever happens on that walk is some New York shit.
Yeah.
It's just life.
Yeah, one of the things I'm grateful for, because my dad grew up in like Long Island, and his dad was like an NYPD guy, so like he spent a lot of time in like the city, like kind of going around. He like when we would go stay at like my aunt's house in like Brooklyn, and be like, all right, go walk around.
Mhm.
And this, because like he's like, this is like this will, I mean, like this will teach you so much more like about life, like just like literally like go walk to 11th and back, and just kind of like, the way, it's not a big deal. But I was scared. I was like, holy shit.
How old were you, like 15, 16?
Oh, I was like 11, 12. I think
you need a sticker on your shirt that says unaccompanied minor.
Yeah, exactly. I think my dad was just trying to get some with my mom, actually. I don't know.
Get the kid out of the house.
Yeah, I think
honey.
that's what's happening. Yeah.
I think 11 in New York is probably like 27 in Tennessee.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, if you stay outside long enough, you're going to see some different shit. Like, I've seen a cow get struck by lightning, but I've never seen a man shit next to a road sign.
Yeah.
Like, I know which one of those are going to happen in New York. Or in the city, anyway. But also, New York State is, like, on the tip end of the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
So it does look a lot like here, geographically speaking.
Mhm.
And I really dig that. So if I can drive out into the country for, like, 90 minutes and be somewhere that looks like this, kind of, that sounds great to me.
Mhm.
So, like,
Yeah.
the extremes are represented, and I'm really happy about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm so addicted to the hitchhiking thing. And I don't represent that I've done it that much. I did this big trip and a couple little tours in the US, but it is completely unpredictable. But just reliably, time after time, I get these crazy boots on the ground experiences where people will tell you crazy stuff. If they know for a fact, they may not even know my first name, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill my neighbor next week.
It's good they don't know your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking
Probably
about
why.
divorces and estranged family
You
members.
can both claim willful ignorance.
Yeah,
if that's the
exactly.
case.
I thought he was lying. I never met this guy.
Sound like a joke to me. I don't know.
Implicit in like an Estonian murder.
Yep.
But I think one of the craziest things a person can do on a regular basis, anywhere they are, is go out in public.
Yeah.
Because
just
you
walk
never
around.
know what's
Yeah.
going on out there.
Talk to strangers. Yeah. Yeah. As somebody who's like kind of introverted and somewhat just scared of people, I guess, just talking to strangers will bring you to some crazy places. Absolutely.
I think the thoughts that go through my head sometimes are pretty wild, and then I'll talk to a stranger on the sidewalk at the bus stop or wherever one may be, and they say some wacky off the wall shit, and I'm just like, damn, all right, I didn't know that was a sentence. Like somebody said that, and and maybe they thought about it before they said it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and public is just that most
I
of
ended
the time.
up running into a foreign spy in Estonia, and I won't get into how I know for a fact that he was a spy, but he was a spy.
Yeah.
I knew that, and he did not know that I knew that. So I was fucking with him
You
the
had the upper
entire
hand.
night. Like, well, what do you think about this political thing? What do you think about China? And just like trying to figure out exactly what he was up to, and he knew my lore of like, oh yeah,
So he knew you were American?
yeah, he's like my
Pegged him, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, immediately.
From across the room.
my buddy picked this hitchhiker up who speaks perfect English here in Eastern Europe, 30 miles
Says he's
from
from
the Russia
Canada.
border.
Yeah.
What is this guy actually up to?
Yeah.
He didn't believe it at all.
Saw through that paper thin Canadian story.
But he was trying to figure out like what are you actually up to, man?
Yeah.
Because I do not believe this hitchhiking thing.
Yeah.
He was sorely mistaken. I was really just an American idiot having a good time.
Yeah.
Did you tell anybody you ran across over there that you were a comedian? Or did you just like play it low key and be like, I'm just traveling around?
I don't think I mentioned it. No. I made a couple friends in Albania, a couple younger guys, and recruited them into hitchhiking, and we partnered up and hitchhiked up the Albanian coast together. And I think I may have told them that, but we were like a little hitchhiking unit. They had never done it before, but I kind of got them up to speed on the etiquette and whatnot. And it was me who was like kind of strategically minded of like, okay, here's a good spot we should stand. Here's what the sign should be for, you know, oh, we're in the suburb, we want to wear a collared shirt, that kind of stuff. And Otso and Bela from Finland and Germany, respectively. And Otso is like a super gregarious, like blonde-haired Scandinavian kid who's like, he was the front seat guy. He would talk to the drivers, really.
The face.
And me and Bela would just sit in the back and plan the route. And yeah, it was a good, because you know, me and Bela would get tired of talking to these people, and Otso was just chatterbox. So we had a good time. Ended up having a run-in with the Albanian mafia. You guys want to hear this story?
Hell yeah.
It's a pretty unpolished story.
No, wait. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Allegedly.
I don't know that this guy was a mafioso, but he was.
We wouldn't want to
But I
incriminate
know.
anybody all the way over here.
Yeah. So we're in a town in North Albania, which I will not name because I am scared of the mafia. And we're looking for a place to camp. You know, sometimes hitchhiking, you can just dirtbag and camp and not have to do a hostel or a hotel or anything. And this was a good opportunity. So we're going down to this public campsite by this lake and end up finding out the campsite sucks, mosquitoes, mud, shotgun shells, whatever.
Oh.
We don't want to stay there. And we end up finding this place in a local's garden where they'll let travelers camp. You can just sleep in our compound, whatever. And so we show up and knock on this gate with no expectation of anything. And this nice Albanian grandma opens up the gate. We go in. It's a paradise of fruit trees and, you know, freshly cut grass and grapevines. And it is way too good to be true. And we meet the son of the family, who's probably in his mid-30s. And he speaks perfect English, worked in the UK. And for context, the UK's entire cocaine supply is supplied by the Albanian mafia. So this guy, you know, owned a business in the UK, right? Made a bunch of money and retired in his 30s.
I bet you drove a real nice car. Too.
Yeah.
Right. And so we end up asking this guy, hey, can we go down to this lake and swim? And he's like, oh, yeah, we love tourists here. Have fun. And a big part of Albanian culture is, you know, accepting the traveler. It's kind of tied into that Muslim culture of, you know, when somebody's in your house, they are your guest, they're under your protection. It's a big cultural thing. So we're way overconfident in our status.
Too comfortable.
Right. And we walk down to this lake, and Otso's got a nice camera. I had the instinct to dress down. I was wearing, you know, no shoes, no shirt. I looked Albanian because I was tan, you know, I have the mustache. I fit in, but I did not have the instinct to tell the boys to do the same.
Oh, so the tall, strapping, blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude was fully dressed.
Oh, yeah.
Looking out of place.
He looks like he's going to the hotel pool.
Yeah.
So we walk down to this lake, and Otso's snapping pictures. It's the most beautiful scene with, you know, the reeds blowing in the wind, the sun setting. And in the distance, we see, you know, a couple cars pulled up by the lake and a couple kids on horses and like just a crowd of locals. And we get a little bit closer. Otso raises the camera, snaps a picture. We hear, no photo, no photo. And like they go crazy. And so at this point, I am completely shitting my pants. And they roll up on us and start speaking Albanian. And one guy starts speaking Spanish. And
Just throwing anything at the wall.
right. And I thought about it real fast, and I had been to Spain a couple weeks prior, and there are certain differences in Castilian and Latin Spanish.
Big
Mhm.
differences.
And this guy is speaking Latin Spanish in Albania
Yeah, that's something.
by a lake that crosses the border into Montenegro.
Mm.
And so I immediately realized, oh, these guys are doing a drug deal probably with the cartel right now. We took a photo of them.
We should probably let them delete that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, either we're gonna get murdered or these guys are gonna take our camera. And long story short, we end up having a connection with one of the local boys who we had met earlier, and he diffuses the situation.
Mhm.
And we end up, very, very antsy and going back to the compound.
No swim?
No.
No.
Ah, ruined the
We-
whole
we
time.
got the hell out And end up talking with the local guy a little bit more, and he cooks us a great meal and is just giving us cigarettes and weed and whatever else. We're having a grand time. And the next morning, the son of the family, the guy from the UK, is having a very heated telephone call, and I slyly pull up Google Translate and translate what he's saying. And he's talking about killing people and dumping them in international customs waters. And that was when I was like, okay, we're gonna get we're gonna get the hell out of here. And we survived. He actually drove us all the way to the border. And so
He made sure you got out.
Yeah.
my theory
Can't
there
cross
is that the camping spot in the compound is specifically designed to get travelers to the compound and away from this trafficking route, and he'll take you straight to the border. Just come to my house, I'll take you right out of town.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
we kind of
He keeps prying eyes off of his business.
you're right. We messed up that plan pretty bad by going down to the lake. So
Yeah.
don't go swimming in northern Albania. That's my
And if you do not take a camera.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do not.
But yeah, I have not told my parents that story. I don't think they would approve.
That's probably a good one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't tell my parents a whole lot of stories from shenanigans until it's like at least 5 to 6 years later.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Mom, I ate an eighth of mushrooms and then did this.
Yeah.
And she's like, you did what? I was like, it's okay. I survived.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm here
Yeah.
right now to tell you the story.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah.
did you have fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a time. That's about it. All I can say.
Yep.
So that's usually how that goes. So give it a few years. You might be able to tell
Yeah.
them. They may or may not still love
Thanksgiving
you after
2030.
that.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
2030
Thanksgiving
is a good-
2030.
Yeah.
That's
good
when you
time
unload the
frame.
hitchhiking stories on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Like you're carving the turkey and you're like,
Yeah,
oh God,
yeah.
I got something to tell y'all and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I've been holding
Yeah.
on to this for years.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we're finally in a place where I can tell you these things and it'd be
Mhm.
safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
To tie it all together, so I was sometimes telling people I was from Canada, sometimes from the US. And when we were walking down to this lake, we bumped into the local boy who later saved our asses.
Right.
And he asked where we were from. I told him America. And he was, oh my God, I've never met someone from America before. And
Oh, you
asked
made
me-
his day.
Oh, yeah.
Asked me some questions. And
You're like a celebrity to him,
it
basically.
was so weird to have that.
Yeah.
And so he goes up ahead and says, hey, my friends are up ahead. Don't worry, they're friendly, which is kind of a weird thing to say.
That's a weird
Yeah.
preface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get there, have the photo altercation thing, and one of the guys on horseback says, oh, where are you from? And I say, Canada.
Yeah.
And old boy was like,
And he looks at me and says, America. Because his buddy had gone ahead and told him, hey, an American's coming. And I got caught in the lie.
Oh no.
And as welcoming the traveler is a big thing culturally there, not lying.
yeah.
Another big
Honesty is a big part of
Not
that.
a big liar culture.
It backfired badly in that situation, but
Well,
I'm here.
Yeah.
no bullet holes. You're still
No bullet
alive.
holes. Yeah.
No concrete shoes. No, I'll see you later's. You got out
Yeah.
unscathed. And didn't even get wet.
Didn't get wet. Nope.
Darn.
Perfectly dry. Other than the sweat drenching my
Well,
body.
yeah. Which I'm sure there were some spots.
Yeah, that was the sketchiest point of the whole trip. Absolutely.
Yeah. Google Translate really set the mood on that one, huh?
Yep. I don't know what that finished video is going to look like. It's
Yeah.
going to have a lot of redacted
Yeah.
there.
I mean, legally. Yeah.
Yep.
This is all
It's like
alleged
10 minutes of
activities.
usable footage on the whole trip, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
And not just black bars over
Yeah,
people's
yeah.
eyes, but like the whole
Yeah.
blurred pixelated
Yeah.
face.
You
Like
get to
we're not
meet,
seeing
like,
anybody's
two actual
chin.
people. Yeah.
We're not showing anybody's chin or mouth or
no.
facial hair. Nothing identifiable here. We're even going to modulate the voices.
Yeah.
So Riley, what are you trying to get into with your art, man? Where are you at with it now? Where you want to take it? What tickles you fancy?
I mean, like, boils it down, like, I like making people laugh, I guess. Like, that's always been, like, again, as long as I can think, it's been like, oh, it kind of started, because, like, I didn't, like, when you're younger, you don't, like, I didn't really know stand-up comedy was a thing. So I was like, oh, I want to be a funny actor. I want to be like Will Ferrell. I want to be like a comedic actor or whatever. And that slowly evolved into, like, writing jokes. And then I wrote jokes since I was 10 years old, like a decade before I went on stage. And I'm only like 2 decades old. So, like, I've been, like, I've been doing it for a while. It was just, I mean, too much a little pussy to go on stage, you know? I
It
mean,
happens.
but, yeah, I just like making people laugh. And I think, it's so, I love the challenge of it. It's so hard. I was, the first time I went on, I was like, oh, I've been writing for a while. I probably got like 20 minutes of like killer stuff. The classic, like, new comedian, just stupid thought. So I like go up there and I'm like, I'm nervous, but like I have an air of just like false confidence. And then, of course, I bomb for 5 minutes. and like I was like going into it, I was like really scared. I was like, oh man, like I've wanted to do this for so long. What if I bomb and like I hate it? And like all of a sudden I was like almost living for it before I had even done it. Like I was upset. Like it was all the art I
What if the
consumed.
whole dream crumples right in
Yes,
front
and I'm
of
like,
me?
and I like hate it. I'm like, oh gosh. And then I bombed and I loved it more than I would ever love it. That's what it. Because like I got like the one laugh. I got like one laugh and
The dude in the back.
yeah, the dude in the back. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that one thing was worth it for the whole thing. So imagine if I can get that little part for the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's just,
And that's the dragon you're chasing.
yeah, just make them laugh.
Well, you know, there are certain
Elusive.
addictions that are better than others, and I don't
Yeah.
think this one's the worst.
Yeah. I have a couple other bad ones, but
Necrophilia.
yeah, necrophilia.
Well, as long as they help you inform your artwork, it should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Inform and perfect your
Yeah.
craft. Dot, dot, dot.
I want to make a public. The joke isn't about me being a necrophiliac. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, now that that's clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need you to know that's exactly what
Yeah.
I was thinking, so thank you for the clarification.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And you've done well. You made it to the finals of Jersey Hustle competition.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I've done well, but I mean, I like it. I'm new. Sometimes I make people laugh, and that's worth it. I think.
This guy, get a load of how
Being,
humble this
being
guy
real
is.
humble right
No,
now.
I mean, I don't know. I'd say I know. I mean, I'm 6 months in. It'd be
We're only going to roast you a little bit.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I'm not like thinking about. I'm just thinking about writing jokes right now.
Well, where are you going up next? You know where?
Mentioned earlier that Nirvana Comics, I'm on like a bedtime story show
Okay.
on 9/11.
Hell
So,
yeah.
If you're having a gloomy day, come on down by Nirvana Comics.
That's a great show.
Yeah.
Gibson is a comedian who's been in the scene for a very long time and is starting to produce stuff. And
Mhm.
I did it last month.
Yeah.
Super fun crowd.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a storytelling show, so
Mhm.
you can. It's expected that you kind of go up there with unpolished, half-baked stories,
Okay.
and the crowd
That's
is very attentive
For it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Tickets available now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this
What?
what is today? The 23rd,
22nd, I think.
22nd. I think I'll put this out this month.
Sweet.
Like sometime next week this will come out. So yeah, me and my pursuit with this particular program is a monthly thing. And sometimes a monthly publishing date is like recorded on the 29th and put out on the 30th.
Mhm.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. If I
Mhm.
had any higher expectations than that, I'd probably flounder in the whole thing.
Yeah,
So it's one of those things where you have to figure out like where's the line of like commitment and energy investment. So if I had to do this every week or every 2 weeks, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like it just wouldn't work.
I completely understand. I have hours and hours of deception footage that is gold for making clips and videos, but it's just getting that, publishing schedule is just not comedian coded at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up to
Yeah.
this podcast 8 minutes late.
Huh.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna clip a video at
Yeah.
every 2 days for the algorithm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that way too, because all the posting I do and promotion and Instagram and whatever I do for all this, it's like it's not on a schedule. I don't have like a Hootsuite piece of software that does
Mhm.
everything everywhere and it's all consistent. Dude, I'll just tell people when an episode drops, tell them who's on it and tell them to go fucking listen.
Yeah.
And if I have to do any more than that, I feel really conflicted in myself because I don't like to sell it. I just like to tell
Mhm.
people shit's available.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to go get it, it's there, I promise.
Mhm.
Like, and it's free, so have it. And all of it is there, like the whole unedited conversations, like I was talking to you earlier. Like,
Yeah.
this is the whole thing. Please
Mhm.
enjoy.
Mhm.
And that's just the laid back anti-structure that I have for this thing.
Yeah.
Plus, trying to get creative people in a room to talk on a microphone is own art all by its damn self. So like,
Yeah.
there's coordinating with people is something.
Mhm.
Like the adjacent parts of this operation are way more difficult than like doing this and sitting there and editing the things. But it's always worth it, man.
Mhm.
It's always worth it. Let's talk about Comedy Deception for a minute,
Sure.
because I had a great fucking time at that show.
It is such a fun show, and I try to not hype it up too much because there are definitely some months where shit goes completely sideways. The month before you came, I had like a terrible technical difficulty where one of the screens wasn't working because it's a 3-screen show all run off my one laptop.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
one
so
of
that
the
coordination.
screens was messed up, and I like tried to fix it during the show and broke the main screen.
Oh no.
And so it's this default Windows screensaver of like a giant stork. And I'm like internally panicking because it's during the show and there's this nothing but a giant bird behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do an intermission, and I like turn on some music and try to fix it, and then the table falls off the stage, and but when it goes well, it is a super fun show.
Well, I have a feeling I hit one of those smoother experiences.
Yeah, that was probably
And-
the best show.
Well, man, I think you, like I said, I think you really nailed that crowd participation angle. Like, there's just enough there that everybody's invested
Mhm.
enough to pay attention to make some witty ass comment or try.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that's the razor's edge, and I think you're on it, dude. You
yeah,
got it.
yeah. I'm super excited. Basically, have you been to one before?
No, I haven't.
So what
What the
is?
fuck?
I'm new. I didn't have a car until like a month ago. I'm
There's no
poor.
damn excuse. You can walk there. The city
Yeah.
has buses.
That's
What's
true.
your problem?
Yeah, I have a scooter. I should
Ah.
have. Yeah, I'll absolutely come to. When's the next one?
September 11th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go. What time is it?
I think it's the same time as Gibson's.
Shit.
Yeah, you're in a pickle now.
Yeah. Now I am in a pickle.
I was gonna offer to let you open, but I don't think it's gonna be possible. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll come to the next show.
Maybe in
It sounds-
October if you want to open it up. that
Yeah,
would be
totally.
cool.
That'd be awesome.
The premise is I get 4 comedians, and we've gotten comedians from all over, from Asheville, Nashville, Atlanta, one guy from France, and they send me stories, hot takes, stuff from their life, and I put it up onto slides in random order and read the story out, and the audience tries to guess who submitted it.
Mm.
And the panel is, riffing and
Yeah.
screwing with each other
Fun
and
time.
lying. And the audience is,
And you try to
very,
deceive. Yeah.
very scrupulously watching for 120 seconds, 2 minutes per story, using their phones to vote on which comedian they think did it. Every vote is like tracked on a leaderboard, and the audience
Oh,
gets
that's
prizes.
awesome. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Super fun and unpredictable, wildly
bet, yeah.
unpredictable.
I'm still giggling about the red hot titty peppers.
Yeah.
Some of the comments, I would imagine this is a bittersweet part of the production, because some people can say some stupid ass shit, but every now and again you get some really good golden ass comments in there,
Yeah.
and they help the show so much.
sure,
It's
yeah.
so
Yeah,
good.
after a little adjustment period, there's a function where the audience can type comments on their phone and they'll pop up on the screen. And knock on wood, nobody's ever said anything too messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin Chavez was getting just bruised,
Roasted.
roasted.
Bald.
Yeah,
Old bald.
it was funny funny because somebody called him bald in the comments, and I think it got under his skin just a little bit, and the audience could tell, and it was just a
I can't
deluge.
remember if he told somebody he was going to kiss them outside or kick their ass.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll meet you outside. I'm going to kiss your face or something
Yeah.
like that.
But he killed it, and that's one of my favorite things about the show is it is hard to do a panel show as a comedian. Improvising is hard. Improvising with other people is even harder because, like we're doing now, you know, somebody will talk and another person will jump in.
Yeah.
And it's an acquired skill. But I get to bring in newer comedians, put them with really experienced comedians, and see what happens. And,
Yeah.
And Chavez,
You like
crushed
making
it.
chaos just like I
Oh
do.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love chaos. And Chavez absolutely rocked it. And,
I also think you do a really good job, like sanitizing the stories, so you can't really tell who said what.
Yeah.
Like you have to make them just like worded bland enough. You can't tell who told you the story.
yeah, and that's the part that's really hard to replicate, I think. And I've had people be like, "Oh, you got to watch out! Like somebody's gonna steal your show premise. Nobody's done this kind of live polling thing before that I know of." And that's the part where it doesn't worry me because that production element of which story goes before and after which story, how exactly do I rephrase this? That's the part that's hard to nail. And it took me a while to nail it too. You know.
Well, I
doing
mean,
it
you're
9
getting
or 10
practiced
months.
at it, and you're going to continue getting practiced
Yeah.
at it. So, like, you know, like I told you, run it, dude. You own it.
Super
Like,
fun.
Get it.
How long you been doing that show?
We started in November of last year.
The cat has, or the dog has the cat toy. Oh no. What am I trying to ask here? What was the genesis of this idea for Comedy Deception?
So there's been storytelling shows before. There's one called Story Wars on YouTube that definitely inspired what I was doing, but I wanted to do a live polling type show for over a year now. I remember sending out a text last summer to some friends and family like, what are the college apps they use on the board where you have to pick the question, you get points, and it's
like
there's a couple of them.
yeah. Well, shit. Now I'm seeing
Now you're on the spot. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the one that I use in case anybody wants to rip me off.
Well,
but,
Carrie also uses that in her distributed work teams.
Yeah.
So it's got some professional applications outside of academia. We sat down and she's like, "Oh, this is what I use at work." I was like, "Oh,
yeah. And it's a really well built software that I'm sure they would not appreciate me using it for debauched reasons.
Yeah.
But it's really well built. There's a lot of functions and really no limit to the different game mechanics you can sneak in there. And that was an inspiration and with the storytelling, but really it's just what Knoxville comedians can do and what they're willing to share. You know, I send out a pregame notes on like, here's some stories we've had in the past. Here's what I recommend. It can be clean or dirty. You know, one of the funniest stories we had was birds disgust me. I think they're disgusting animals.
They are kind of gross.
And that's totally clean. You know, you're not telling any story about, you know, shitting your pants in a pool or something.
Yeah.
Or fucking Chick-fil-A corporate guys.
Yeah. Is that a Chavez story?
Yeah.
Yeah, that surprised me.
But people
Professionally horny.
People are super vulnerable.
It's a good run.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get crazy. And I just let it ride.
Yeah.
As you should. I mean, you can't get in the way of it or kill the mood. You know, you just gotta let it roll.
Yeah, and that's why I love comedy. I love everybody that's done the panel because I tell everybody too, if there's anything that gets too crazy or too vulnerable and you want it cut, if I ever put out videos, just shoot me a message and it's gone. And I think it's happened maybe once.
So do you put these out audio on
I have
platforms or what?
a couple clips out on Instagram at Comedy Deception. But I have a huge backlog of probably 8+ hours of footage. But I have not found the right Vietnamese children to hire to edit it for me. So.
Yeah, for like 10 cents
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I'm trying not to rush it. And
Well, if you got cheap and good, it's going to be slow because you'll never get cheap and good and fast together. So, you know, got to have your expectations tuned in. The triangle for fire and the triangle for products is the same thing. You can have 2 of these at any given time, but not all 3.
yeah, and the videos they'll be funny forever.
Yeah.
So I can sit on those until I'm ready. But eventually, yeah, I would love to make it more of a content business.
I mean, you've got the chemistry on it, so
I love it.
I think you can do it. Gentlemen, tell me where we can find you on the internets, and we'll close this thing out.
You can find me most active on Instagram at IVHPS or at Comedy Deception. I'm doing a show at the Pirate Tavern this coming Wednesday. This probably won't be out by then, but check out Knoxville Comedy. Let's have a good time.
Yeah. Riley?
I don't even. I'm so bad. I don't even know.
You don't have a
Instagram.
dedicated social media outlet for your creative works yet?
I don't.
Oh my God. Well, what do you have?
I have an Instagram account. I think it's just like Riley Galvin 1 or something. Don't follow. I don't post anything.
So really what you're telling the people
just
is
go
get out.
watch comedy. Just go buy a ticket to a show somewhere.
And find out and about in person.
Yeah, find out about a person.
That's
Go
like
follow Ivan.
The most comedian thing of being like, do I have any shows? No, I don't have any shows in the next 3 hours or something.
Just, find me later, buy tickets. It'll be great.
Just go report my account. Just do me a favor. And...
He hasn't posted in 6 months, report.
Yeah.
But, fellas, thank you very much for coming here and meeting me in the middle on this conversation. Ivan, thank you for coming on again. Riley, if you want to get yourself on a solo episode here in a couple months, come back. Message me on Instagram. It'll be fine. But yeah, dude, you're more than welcome to come back, and we'll sit here and do something really similar. Everybody, thanks for listening. I'm Thomas Zachary. This has been the latest episode of the KAAMP. Do all the shit you're kind of not obligated to do, like the share stuff. That'd be really cool. When you got a lot of your friends in the car, if you have those friends, not the car, please put on an episode and play it a little too loud until they ask you what the fuck this is. And then you can tell them it's cool stuff about cool people here around in a cool place. And I'd really appreciate that. Until then, we're just going to fuck off and try to get through life just like everybody else. All right. Y'all have a good time. Thanks, fellas.